Okay, so we're going to expand on yesterday's video on making a wedding band, but we're going to use it to explain why you would use which kind of curves. We're going to use it to explain layers, and we're going to use it to explain the little thing we skipped yesterday, record history. Okay, so I'm going to turn off everything else for now. Then the simplest way to make a wedding band, and just something about the nomenclature and the usage. Generally speaking, most jewelry tools draw the side view in what's called the front.
Yes.
Okay, why that is I can't tell you, but it is. So again, I'm going to just use the circle command because I'm used to typing.
Not right view?
Not the right view.
Right view is side view as well.
So let me quickly pop one out. So this over here seems to be the way that everyone draws a ring. That doesn't mean you have to draw the ring. You can draw the ring any way you want. I think because the most popular software in the market, Matrix, it draws its rings in this direction, so everyone else draws their rings in this direction. Right?
Okay.
Remembering, so they draw this through finger because everyone's confused about the word front. You can rename the viewport, so the active viewport, you can rename to through finger. If you can rename it whatever you like. All right. It doesn't have to say front. You can call this edge view, if you like. All right. So when you work front view, it's a good question. Let me look for that. Display options, viewport properties. Title is. So I think that Gem Vision does this. They call it through finger, so that you understand that you're looking through the finger. I don't know. To me, your naming will be whichever way you want, right? So then, yesterday we looked at using a revolve, which doesn't need a ring rail, or using a sweep, which does need a ring rail. All right. So if we look at the most elementary kind of profile, a very flat wedding band, I'm going to take rectangle.
Yeah.
Okay, and then draw a rectangle from its center. So on the command line, any command you run, anything in brackets is an option for that command. So I want to draw a rectangle. It's offering me, do I want to draw a 3-point rectangle, a vertical rectangle, a rectangle starting around a center point, or rectangle around a curve, or rectangle with rounded corners. So I'm going to go, I want center, and you can have combinations, right? So I want to draw, so I'll show what I mean by center. By center, if I click center, it means I'm starting from the center and I'm drawing it away from a central point. Okay? Versus if I just run a regular rectangle, I'm drawing from an edge, away from one edge. Okay, so that's a regular rectangle. I want to do center and rounded because I want to draw a rectangle with soft corners. Right?
But before it's no center. I thought center is here.
Okay, so I'm gonna do that again. So rectangle, it doesn't matter which center you use. If you click center, even if you draw here, see what's happening? First click, it's drawing the rectangle away
on the center,
away from a central point. Okay, so that's important for the next view because we're going to draw it around this central point. So I'm going to go rectangle again. See, this time I'm typing the command. Last time I clicked the command. It doesn't really matter. Any way you want to get to it. Okay, so I'm going to say that I do want it around center. And if I select center, you'll see that I still have the rounded option. So I can have center and rounded. So I'm going to click center and rounded. Where's the center of my rectangle? I'm going to find the bottom quad. How do I find a quad?
Quad.
How do I find?
You click the quad.
Okay, why can't I click the quad? Why can't I click it?
Because you need to.
Got it. All right. So we turn on the quad. Noting that on a circle has a start and an end, so you might also find the mid and an end. So beware when you use your snaps. Sometimes you have multiple snaps for the same thing. All right? Anyway, so for now, in this viewport, in the right-hand viewport, I'm going to find snap to that quad. I'm going to draw out a rectangle like that, and then I'm going to move my mouse in to get that corner. And we click rounded for the corner.
Alright.
Okay, so I'm going to do that again. This time I'm going to work in the right-hand view, which is I guess the face view. So because I got quads on, I don't have to struggle to find it. All right, and remember, I'm just going to show you a little trick. You can draw in multiple views. Right, so you can start that rectangle from center with rounded corners. And if you can't find it here, you can look for the quad here. So my mouse is in the perspective viewport at the moment. I start with the quad there, then I bring my mouse down here. To the right-hand view, or I can bring it to this view and draw the rectangle in that direction, or I can bring the mouse here and draw the rectangle in that direction. So you can start the command in one view and then continue it in another view. So in this case, I want to use something else we learned yesterday. I want to make this thing exactly 6 millimeters wide.
6 millimeter wide.
What would be the smart way to do that?
You use there's one way, there's a grid snap.
Grid snap.
Yes.
All right, so I can go grid snap, and then I can move this out.
To 6, 1, 2, 3 is fine.
3, correct.
Yeah.
All right, 1.5 millimeter thick, I think is good.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So that's the one way, and then now I want to turn grid snap off because I want to give myself a very fine radius. Okay.
Oh, so when you click, it's already rounded the edge.
Because I selected rounded on the command line. So I'm going to do it just one more time. All right, so rectangle, watch the command.
Yes.
It has options on the command line.
Okay.
My first option is I want to draw it around center.
Yes.
It says, oh, you've got another option. You can also have it rounded if you like.
Okay.
So I want it from center and I want it rounded.
Okay, I get it.
All right, I'm going to select the center in my through finger viewport, but I'm going to finish the drawing in this viewport.
Yes.
Now there's a second way to get an exact size. In our case, we wanted it exactly 6 millimeters, so that worked for us. All right. What about if I wanted it exactly 6.2 millimeters?
Can you type 6.2?
You just type in 6.2 on the command line. All right.
Yeah.
Width, and then I want it 1.5 high. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And I want a radius of exactly 0.125.
You mean here?
So radius is a circle.
Okay.
So the distance from here, from the center, is a radius of a circle. So yes, I wanted a very fine radius.
Okay.
And so now I have that rectangle.
All right. Give me a second. I'm trying to think why this part is the radius.
Okay, so if you want to draw a circle.
I understand circle.
Well, a circle is a radius. So let's go through that slowly. You can draw an arc.
Yes.
Right? So an arc is a part of a circle.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to start from 0, which is my center.
Yes.
Start of an arc.
Yeah.
Through here.
Yeah.
All right. That distance between 0
and
here is the radius of a circle. All right.
Yeah.
So if I had 2 points, if I delete that. Wrong key. All right. So if I just draw a straight line like this, I'm going to use shift to lock orthogonally, and I'm going to use shift to lock orthogonally.
Yeah.
And I want to fillet edge. So this is a command for curves. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get more in-depth detail on it later.
Yeah.
Select the edges we want to fillet. This one and this one. Oopsie, I've got to explode those two. My apologies. All right. So now we want to fillet. We want to fillet the curves. Select the first curve I want to fillet. The second curve I want to fillet. And the radius. So the radius up there was 1, which means that for exactly 1 millimeters worth of radius, I got a curvature.
Okay.
So using the center O-snap, let's find the radius. Let's draw a point. Curves, where's my curves menu gone? Curve tools, where's my point? I'm just going to go for a point like this. I'm going to snap to center. See here? If I drew a circle around this point, turn my point snap on, and I typed in radius 1 millimeter, I now have a circle of 1 millimeter. So that radius of that arc is a 1 millimeter radius.
Okay, I get it now.
All right.
Okay.
So if we go back to the rectangle's just doing this for us.
Okay.
Right? So let's make the circle for the finger size again. I'm just going to draw one out randomly. I'm going to go in this viewport. We're going to go rectangle again. All right, so if I draw a regular rectangle, it's just a square. It's a rectangle.
Yeah, I'll get it.
If I wanted to radius all these corners, I'd have to run the command. I'd have to explode this curve. I'd have to say fillet. Okay.
And then you have to do.
And then I'd have to go between this curve and this curve. I want 1 mil. Right click, run the command again. Okay, and then do that. There's many ways to do it. This would just be the slowest, most cumbersome way.
Okay.
Because designers like stuff with a very soft corner, they generally don't like to do. They like to use a fillet on curves, and if you do it now, you don't have to do it later. So if we go back to the rectangle example, so if we grab rectangle, we want a rectangle to start drawing around the center and give it rounded corners. Okay, so our center of our rectangle is here. I want it exactly 6.2 millimeters wide.
Yes.
I want it exactly 1.5 millimeters high.
Yes.
And I want a radius of exactly, I don't know, half a millimeter, 0.5.
Okay, I get it now.
So it just did the same thing. So if I drew a circle from this point, all clear now? So if I draw a point, snapping to the center of this arc, and I drew a circle from that point.
Alright, I get it.
Okay,
I get it.
So you're just radiusing that corner. Alright, so now we can move on to what's the fastest way to do this. This is now on the inside of our finger size.
Yes.
So the finger size would be too small if we made the band now. So you could try to move it manually yourself and try to line it up at the bottom. But by eye, that's going to be really difficult. I mean, sometimes do it. You know, I mean, sometimes it's not necessary to get pedantic about it. But in this case, we learned a command yesterday on how to move it to exactly that point.
Quarter?
To the quadrant, yeah. So
quadrant.
how do you move something?
Move. M
right.
and enter.
M and enter. We want to move it from the middle of this line to this quad over here. So now that's exactly...
Did they show quarter when you move?
Yeah. So it's M and enter.
Yes.
From this mid to this quad.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So now you know that that's exactly on that finger size.
Yes.
Alright, so now let's do the multiple ways you could make this. You could revolve this like we did yesterday. You could do a sweep 1. Alright, so sweep 1, think of a train going on a railway line. Alright, so you've got a railway line here. Where's my curve? Why is my curve menu all loopy today? Curve tools, curves. Anyway, insert curve. It's not part of the lesson. I'm just showing. Imagine that that's a railway line.
Yes.
Alright, and we've got a little train. I'm going to draw a little square to make a train. I'm going to draw a little rectangle. Oops, I'm going to do it in this view. And I'm going to move this train over here to the beginning of the curve. How do we move something to exactly the beginning of a curve? M, enter, mid, side of the curve. Now let's get the train facing the right direction on the curve. Alright, now we want this train to travel along this curve and make us a long thing, alright? So sweep 1 says, watch the command line. Sweep 1. Okay. Means we're going to sweep the railway track. We've got one railway track and we're going to sweep a train. Alright, so sweep 1. Select the rail. So same like a railway line. Select the rail.
So select here.
So you select that. Select the profile or the sweep shape, which is this one.
Okay.
Okay. Press enter. Okay.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if you can. There's a few options on there. So basically, in the case of a ring which is round, this is useful, or a thing that's flat, you couldn't use revolve. Like for this command, you could not use revolve because it isn't round. You have to use sweep 1. Okay. In a ring, you could use revolve because it's exactly round. So revolve will work.
Okay, I get it.
All right.
Now, yes.
All right, so I'm going to cancel out of there. But you can use sweep 1 now because you have a railway line and you have a train.
Okay.
So you can use it if you like. Now you can, ways to run a command, sometimes you can pre-select, sometimes you can't, but really it's up to you. So I can run sweep 1 now and it's going to ask me for the rail.
Yes, select the rail.
Or I could select the rail and I could start sweep 1. And it's going to go directly to sweep shape because it knows I had it already selected. All right?
Yeah, okay.
And press enter and enter.
Done.
And so now it's done.
So lovely.
All right. So that's one way to do the wedding band.
Yes.
Now I'm going to talk about doing this in a smart way. So
can we try the one we learned yesterday?
Revolve?
Revolve.
Exactly the same. So revolve wants an axis. So let's go to Google quickly. I hope I'm not looking at anything dodgy. Let's go here.
No.
Images.
Yes.
Right. So revolve. I can't find any images of it. All right, I was going to try and use a little learning.
You got a ball,
So let's do that this way because yesterday it wasn't clear because we were working the side view. All right, so I'm going to just turn this ring sideways. I'm going to pick it up. All right, and then I draw a little line going from 0. You don't have to draw this line, by the way. I'll explain to you in a minute why. So this line in the middle is Hui. All right?
Okay, yeah.
Let's put a sphere on Hui so we can see her head. Right. So that's Hui's head.
Yes.
All right. This is Hui's arm. So I'm going to draw the line from that edge there. I'm going to snap to. I'm going to use my perpendicular. I want to snap to perpendicular.
Yeah.
So that's you standing up.
Yeah.
There's your feet. There's your head. Here's your arm.
Okay.
Holding this rail.
Yes.
You can swing it in a perfect circle.
Yes.
All you have to do is turn around.
Yeah.
That's what revolve is. So we grab this curve.
Yes.
We go revolve.
Ah.
Okay. The axis it's asking for here is what are we swinging it around?
Start a revolve.
So where's the start of the revolution axis? Where's your feet?
Oh, I thought it's here.
No. Well, it can be here. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's the axis we're talking about. You've got a Z axis, you've got an X axis, you've got a Y axis.
Yes.
You can have many different axes. Which one do we want this one to swing around perpendicularly? Yeah. All right. So you can start it there if you want.
Yeah. Okay.
And the axis is either directly up from there or directly down from there. All right. So I'm going to hold Shift. I'm going to press Enter and Enter.
Yeah.
Okay. I can see on your face that wasn't clear, so we're going to do that one again. All right. This is what's swinging it.
Yes, I understand that.
We don't need the arm, and we don't need this.
Yes.
And we don't need Hui.
Yeah.
We want this to see this green line.
Yes.
We want it to swing directly around that green line, this axis. All right.
Yes.
So I'm going to draw a line again from 0 upwards. Up, up, up. Shift, lock it.
So it doesn't matter how long, isn't it?
It doesn't matter. You could have made this axis just this long.
Okay.
It would be the same. All right.
But they will understand it's
correct.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So because it's painful to have to draw that line, the command lets you draw the line. All right. So we're going to grab this item. We're going to do it again. We're going to go revolve.
Yes.
And ignore the word axis. It's saying where's the start of the line that you want to swing it around. I'm going to just use 0 because it's easy.
Yes.
Okay. And you could have made this small. It doesn't really matter. What matters is how straight it is.
Okay,
all right. So let me show you. If you didn't have it straight, you can swing it around that axis. Okay. When you press Enter now.
It's a beveled edge. Okay.
Okay. So for making jewelry, there's many reasons you may want to do that. But for now, for jewelry, you always want to be perpendicular. All right. So we're going to revolve this around 0, straight upwards. Doesn't matter where you finish the click.
Yes.
Press Enter twice.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so the difference between these two things that we just drew, so I'm going to go Control Z all the way back.
Yes.
To there. All right. So I'm going to draw the first one.
Yeah.
Sweep 1.
Yeah.
With this.
Okay.
And then I'm going to take this profile. I'm going to copy it.
Yes.
From here, I'm going to hold Shift to lock, taking me out somewhere else. And I'm going to finish. Now this one I'm going to revolve. All right?
Yeah.
Revolve button. I typed too fast. I'm going to revolve it.
Yeah.
It helps if you can type as well. I'm going to revolve around this way. So I've got to start in the 0, straight around there, because I want to revolve it perpendicular around there.
Yes. They're paralyzed.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, when we get to more complex drawing, can you see that this one's got a lot more iso palms?
Yes.
The sweep created a lot denser geometry. So the more density you have in your geometry, the heavier your model becomes, the more difficult things like cutting booleans becomes, the more difficult scaling becomes. So always when you draw, in the case of modern computers, it doesn't really matter anymore.
Okay.
But just because I learned many years ago, you always try to draw your geometry as light as possible. So this revolve produced very light geometry. So if you were looking to extract a nice clean surface, in more advanced lessons, we're going to try draw a pave, etc. Over here, your pave would be snapping in between all these lines. Over here, you've got a much smoother surface to work with. All right? It does not matter. It really doesn't matter. 10 years ago, this mattered. Modern computers, not so much. Just like I said, different ways to get to the same thing, right? So I'm going to go through a second way to draw this ring because you may not.
Can we try the copy command again? Because when you copy, I don't know. So
okay,
copy.
So let's do it the old school way.
Okay.
So let's do it the old school way. You can grab that profile through there. A little bit about selecting before we get too far.
Left click.
If you left click and drag in this direction,
yes.
Okay,
Why
it will only select anything that's completely enclosed by the selection rectangle. So if I come up here,
yes,
and I select from there downwards, can you see that at the top? Let me zoom that in a little bit. So clicking from here, can you see that I haven't got the whole wedding band, but
no.
I am completely around the rail, and now I'm completely around the profile.
Yes.
So I get the rail in the profile.
Okay. But we haven't choose the rail because
if I select everything, I get everything.
Okay.
I want to only select this rail through here, so I'm only selecting this area. It'll only select anything that's touching.
Okay.
Now this is important because you can do it in the other direction. If you go right ways,
yes,
from right to left instead of from left to right. Left to right will only select anything that's completely inside this blue area now.
Okay. Yeah.
Right to left will select anything that's touching.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, so we did this. We selected that profile.
Yes. And
you can go Control C and Control V. Now there's one copy on top of the other copy, but when I move it, I leave a copy behind. So the easier way to do that is to run a copy command. So highlight this, because copy command you can do it multiple times. So copy. Where do I want to copy from? It doesn't really matter. If I was going to copy to another rail, let's make another rail. All right. To fully explain this command, I'm going to grab the circle. Very difficult. All right. Control C, Control V, bring the circle out here, and I'm going to scale it smaller. All right. Like that. All right. So imagine I wanted to sweep this rail with exactly the same profile as this rail.
Yes.
So I could take this profile over here.
Yes.
I could run copy.
Yes.
From an exact point. So this one's midpoint here. Okay.
Yes.
You can also select the midpoint here. If you're not sure that you're grabbing the right midpoint here, you can come to this viewpoint and grab the midpoint here.
Yes.
And then you can move to the quad over there. Look.
Okay.
Okay.
I get
and that you've done with a copy. So what you saw me do that I think was confusing is if you
I don't understand why we started from here. I thought we were going to start from here.
Where do you want to copy it to?
Copy to here.
Okay, so in your hand, for everyone else watching, here's a piece of paper.
Yes.
Copy that piece of paper to here.
You mean you started from here?
No. What's over here? What is here under your hand now?
Nothing.
Nothing. So how are you going to copy it here? You have to start from here. I want to copy this thing to here.
Okay, you need to tell them I want this one.
Okay, so copy.
Okay.
What do you want to copy? Do I want to copy this? I don't want to copy this.
No.
That's not the thing I want to copy. This is the thing I want to copy. So copy.
Yes.
Select the thing you want to copy.
Yes.
Where do you want to copy it from? Select the object to copy. Point to copy from.
Yes.
This is the point you want to copy from. Point you want to copy to. Always read the command line.
Okay.
Because there might be multiple points. You may want to copy it to that point, and you want to copy it to that point, and you want to, okay?
Can we copy to this point?
You can copy, at the moment you can't because you selected that point to copy from. So if you wanted to do that, you're going to grab this, you can do your first copy from this point to here.
Yes.
End the command. You can do another copy from the bottom point to the top point here.
Yeah.
So now you've got two rails to play with.
Yeah. And if we sweep or revolve,
let's get through copy first.
Okay.
So you're clear on how copy works?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
So, so the first point we did over here was we produced this with a sweep, right? And we explained why you would use a revolve or why a revolve is cleaner. So I did a copy. I copy this thing, and it doesn't matter what I did is in this viewport, in the right viewport, I clicked out here. I'm copying it from here.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where I copied it from. You can just see that it stays the same offset from the mouse, right?
Yeah.
I hold down Shift.
Yeah. To
lock an orthogonal. And if I wanted to copy it exactly 5 millimeters, I would now press the Tab key to lock the orthogonal.
Yeah.
And I could copy it exactly 5 millimeters away. Okay. So from that point to that point, we're now 5 millimeters away.
Yeah.
Right. So I probably needed about 6 or 7 over here. Okay. So let's look at the revolve again. So I want to revolve around 0, straight line, and enter twice, right?
Yes.
So we've got a clean surface with the revolve.
Yeah.
We've got a slightly more convoluted surface with the sweep. Now let's show you something revolve cannot do.
Okay.
All right, so revolve can only work with one rail swinging around an axis. All right.
Yes.
You can rail revolve, which is the same as sweep one, but we're not going to get into that for today. So now what if you needed this ring to be fatter on the top? If you need this ring to be 2 millimeters thick up here,
yes,
1.5 millimeters thick over here, and
yes,
1.2 millimeters thick here.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so there is a way to do that with using just sweep one, and sometimes it's necessary. So I'm not saying that anything we're showing you here today is right or wrong.
Yes.
So this guy over here, let's delete it, and let's make a rectangle. So I'm going to make a rectangle. We said the bottom. I'm going to start from that quad over there.
Yeah.
I'm going to start drawing the rectangle. I want it to, in all cases, I want it to be, say, 5 millimeters wide. At the bottom, I need it to be 1.3 tall.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to take this guy. I'm going to move it from here to the bottom quad. All right,
yes.
so there's my bottom sorted out. Okay.
Yes.
In this view, I'm going to draw another rectangle. Okay. Start from here. I'm going to draw 5 and 1.7. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to rotate that around itself. I'm going to hold shift to lock. And now I'm going to move it from a central point to a central point. Okay.
Okay.
So now I've got 1.3. I've got 1.5. In the top view, I'm going to draw another one that's 2.5. So I'm going to draw a rectangle from here, 5 and 2.5.
Yeah.
And I'm going to move it from its mid to the top quad.
Yes.
Right. So now this guy over here, I'm going to move it around to the other side. I'm going to copy it around to the other side, or I can rotate it around to the other side. So I can use the command rotate.
Yes.
While I'm rotating it, have a look at the command line. What happens if you've got anything in brackets? You've got an option.
Okay.
So if I just want to rotate it, so let me command, I'm just going to rotate.
Yes.
I'm rotating around the center of the world. I'm going to hold shift to lock exactly orthogonally, and I'm going to rotate exactly orthogonally. That's great.
Yes.
My problem is I now moved it to the other side of the ring.
Yes.
The one on this side is missing. So I'm going to go Control Z. I'm going to do rotate again.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to use copy. And I'm going to press 0 as my rotation point.
Yes.
I'm going to hold shift from here. And I'm going to move it around there.
Yes.
And so now I can make as many copies as I like.
Okay.
While I'm rotating. Okay.
Okay.
We don't want these ones.
Yes.
So now we want to do sweep 1.
Okay.
Because you can sweep 1 and have multiple trains on the track.
Okay. I get it.
So we're going to do sweep 1 this time.
Yes.
And we're going to start from, it doesn't matter where you start, it's where you'll end. So I'm going to start from there.
Yes.
And travel logically. You don't one here, one here, one here. Always go in the same direction as the rail.
Okay.
Okay, so then we're going to go to this one, then we're going to go to this one, then we're going to go to this one, and we're going to press enter.
Okay.
All right. I forgot to select the last rail, my bad. So let's start that again. We're going to go from you to you to you to you, and we're going to select closed sweep. There's closed sweep. There we go, closed sweep. All right, so now you can have a band that has multiple thicknesses around it.
Yeah, get it.
Okay.
Yes.
When you start seeing, when you start getting some more complex shapes, what happens if you also wanted it to come up at an angle like this? All right. So in this case, sweep 1 gave you what you needed using just multiple trains on the track.
Yes.
You went from a very graduated 1.3 to a 1.7 to a 2.5.
Yes.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
What happens when we start working with some more complex shapes? Okay. So
yeah.
Let's say that I want a outside rail that looks like this, and then comes down over here, and then comes to about this thickness here. So I'd have to have this rail. Okay.
Yes.
Let's grab it. Let's rotate it around center. Whoops. Let's rotate it around center without copy. So I want to rotate this one. Oh, I do want copy actually. I want to rotate this one to about there. Then one about, because this is thinner here. Then one about there. Then another one here.
Yeah.
And then all of these we'd have to scale. All right. So where is it gone? So that one over there, I'd have to try to scale it. From there to there so that it touches there. Then I'd have to make another scale over here. One from there. Let's turn off that center snap, starting to be annoying. All right, so we'd have to scale that one so it's touching there. And then you'd have to do a sweep between all these rails, and things start getting really lumpy and really difficult to draw because you have multiple heights.
Yes.
So I'm going to dump all of this now, and we're going to talk about sweep 2. Sweep 2 is you have one rail, you have one profile, but you have many rails, or you have 2 rails actually, not many.
Okay.
So I'm going to delete that. I'm going to take the circle, and we're going to start from the middle. So we want starting fresh. Sweep 1 is clear to you?
Yeah.
You got a railway line.
Yeah.
You got a train on the railway line.
Yeah.
Sweep 1 makes the train go on the railway line.
Yeah.
All right, and that's great for when you have one rail.
Yes.
If you want to control the height of something, so I'm going to draw a circle from 0. We're going to just draw it like that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to draw another circle up here, like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it about there. Now I want to control the height of that circle. So to get to your edit points on anything, all right. So you can highlight an item. By default, you can see the edit points for it. All right.
Okay.
It means you can now grab those edit points and you could move them if you like. All right. To change the shape of the circle. We want to change the outside shape of the circle, so we're going to grab these ones and we're going to just move them up a little bit like that. And then so now you can see that something's starting to look like a wedding band.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
I'm going to grab this guy in the side view, and now we're going to draw another square.
All right.
Okay. So we're going to take a rectangle this time.
Yes.
We're going to draw from here. Oopsie. From there to here, like that. I'm going to grab these 2 edit points, all right, like that. I'm going to move them from here directly upwards. I'm going to hold shift.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to find the snap point over here. Okay. So now it's touching both rails. You want me to do that again slowly?
Yes, please.
All right. So let's talk about the multiple ways you can draw something. So if you're not comfortable using these, you could have very easily just drawn a rectangle by drawing a line between these 2 so that it fits exactly. So you can take a line segment.
Yes.
You can find the quad here.
Yes.
You can find the quad here. Now you've got a line.
Yes.
I can draw another line directly out this way. Shift tab, make it exactly 5 millimeters.
Yes.
And draw another line out this way. Shift tab, 5 millimeters.
Yeah.
And now you just need to draw a line between these 2.
Yes.
And guess what? Now you can join those lines and you've got a rectangle.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one way to do this. If you wanted to do the sweep, you just move them from its center back to the quad and you're ready to do a sweep. All right, now let's talk about what I just did with the rectangle.
Yes.
So we go rectangle.
Yes.
It's just less keystrokes. However, there is no right or wrong way to do this. There's just the way you feel like doing it. Right?
Yeah.
So we go rectangle. I'm going to make the first corner. See, I'm using the perspective viewport. I'm going to work over here from the mid or the quad. Let's turn off a few of these things and let's just work with quads for now. Switch off perpendicular and leave quad on. I'm going to turn point on. I'm going to leave end on. All right, we do need mid because we're going to use it later. All right, so I'm going to start from the quad.
Yes.
Okay, coming back to this view. And just visually, I'm looking at where the bottom of that is, so it's not too far out.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm drawing 5 millimeters wide and I'm just going to put some height I like. So because I've hit 5 and enter, I could also come down here and snap to that mid.
Yeah, okay.
All right, for my width. I'm going to do that again. So rectangle. I'm going to start from a snap I can see in this viewport. I could also start in this viewport. I could say I want to snap from here.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm starting to draw from the top. I'm clicking.
Yes.
In this viewport, I want it 5 millimeters wide.
Yes.
Okay, so I press 5 and enter.
Yes.
Now it's asking me my command line, the width of it. Okay.
Okay.
Move my mouse down until I snap. I could also snap this way to get a profile in this direction. But in this direction, I want to find that bottom snap. I click it. Now I've got a rectangle that fits there.
But why it says mid? It should be
because it's the middle of the circle. Also the middle of this curve.
Oh,
that's why I said you've got to be careful with your O snap. Sometimes you can snap to more than one thing.
Okay.
Because a circle has the middle of the circle, because the top of the circle's there.
Yeah.
The curve started at the top. This is the middle of this curve of the circle, and then that's the top again.
Okay, yes, yeah,
right.
Okay, get it.
So then you just need to move this to where you want to go. So M, enter.
Yes.
Point, enter.
Okay.
So now you know that that fits perfectly.
Okay,
all right?
No problem.
If you now want to do another type of sweep, which is sweep 2, it wants 2 rails. It wants the primary sweep rail and then a height controlling rail. All right?
Okay.
So sweep 2.
Yes.
Select your first rail, this one. Select your second rail, this one. Select the sweep shape, in other words, the train. Select this one. Press enter. Okay.
Right.
Now, with only one profile, you didn't have to draw a bunch of different profiles to get the height. Remember, before we had to have a profile here, then a different profile here, then a different profile here. So now we've used just one profile, and we've controlled it. Okay. Let's talk about the options inside here. All right. If you don't click maintain height, as the profile gets taller, it will also get wider. So some kinds of jewelry that you actually want. You wanted to do that.
Okay.
But let's imagine that you needed this all the same width. You would tick maintain height, and now your band is exactly the same width at the bottom. It only scaled.
I thought we were going to maintain width.
Well, height and width depends on what you're looking at. Are you looking at the through finger? Are you looking at the top? Is this the width, or is this the width? Is this the height, or is this the width?
I thought we are going to maintain the 5mm.
It is. It's 5mm everywhere. Top is 5mm. This is dead straight.
Okay, but this is height.
Okay, I'm going to go through this again slowly.
Okay.
If you're working in this viewpoint,
yes.
What is the height of this from here to here? Bottom upwards.
Okay.
If you're in this viewport, what is the height?
That's the thickness.
All right.
Okay.
So it's just they've got to put a name in there, but it depends on the viewport. In this, if you working in the viewport.
Okay, that means height means different x.
Correct. All right.
Okay.
So just this is poorly named. It should be maintain one of the 2 sides.
Okay,
right?
I get it.
So if you don't tick that, you get this. All right. Had we been drawing this ring, to make that clearer to you, we draw rings sideways. The rest of the world works in this direction. You draw a house, and the roof of the house is here.
Yes.
All right. So now let's do sweep 2. This time we're going to grab them first.
Yes.
We're going to do sweep 2. Okay. And we're going to select the rail.
Yes.
We're going to press enter.
Yes.
Now, does it make sense that it says height?
Yes.
Because this is the height of the profile.
Yeah.
In this direction, that's height.
Yeah.
This is Z. Z is in
real world Z is height.
Yeah. So X and Y is your widths, and Z is height.
Yes.
We happen to not want to draw in this direction. We want to draw a ring facing upwards.
Okay.
Okay. So we do this. Oh, forgot how to use drum. All right. So Control Z. We'll redo that one. Okay. So. Get that from there to there. All right, so we're back where we were. All right, so you understand why it didn't make sense for it to be height, because in our world, we work exactly 90 degrees wrong to everyone else in the world. All right, so we're going to grab those 2 items. We're going to sweep 2. We're going to sweep 2. Grab this rail, this part, and press enter twice.
What happened if you put a sweep 1?
Well, you're not going to get that height. You're just going to get sweep 1. All right, so sweep 1 with this, press enter. Okay.
But can you click 2 lines, get a sweep 1?
In the command is sweep 1.
Okay.
Sweep with 1 line.
Okay.
Or
sweep 2 means sweep 2 lines.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you've got a controlling line. All right. So let's do that. Sweep 2 with you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, I get it.
Right, so you may have wanted that, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's what you wanted. But you can also use a second profile. Right?
Okay.
So let's say we wanted it square at the bottom, but we wanted it kind of D-shape up at the top. All right, so I'm going to delete that surface now.
Yeah.
I'm going to create another profile up the top here. This gets a little bit tricky. All right, so sometimes it's better to take this profile, rotate it around 0 with copy. All right. Shift straight down and shift straight up, and so to make a copy of it up at the top.
Yeah.
I want to scale this copy upwards till it's touching.
Okay.
Now watch what I'm about to do carefully.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to grab this guy.
Yes.
I'm going to scale. All right.
Okay.
Scale means to make something bigger.
Yeah. Okay.
Or to make something smaller. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to scale. I only want to scale in one dimension. So it means I only want to scale. See that little guy over there? Y, Z, or X.
Yeah.
I only want to scale it directly upwards.
Okay.
Or I only want to scale it directly sideways.
Okay.
Or in this case, because it's a curve, it doesn't have a depth
Okay.
that way. Okay. I want to scale 1D.
Yes.
In one direction.
Yes.
I want to scale from the bottom point there.
Yes.
To the top point here. This is what I want to scale, and I want to scale it up to that point.
Okay, I get it.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to Control Z, and I'm going to show you a different way to do that. All right. So you can take this, you can highlight the points, those 2 points, because we want to move them.
Yes.
We want to move them from the mid of that curve.
Yes.
To here.
Okay.
Different ways to do the same thing.
Okay.
All right. Scale might be easier for you, so I'm going to Control Z again. I think scale might be easier. Scale 1D. If you didn't want to scale in just 1D and you want to scale all directions, you just use scale. All right. The difference between them. Select the object. All right.
Yes.
Okay. The base point from the scale. If I selected this, it would scale downwards. Because I'm selecting this, it's going to scale upwards. Where's the base point of the scale?
Okay.
So this is where we want to scale from.
Yes.
That's my first reference point.
Yes.
And this is my second reference point. Now you see what happened this time? It's scaling in every direction at once.
Okay.
All right?
All right, I get it.
So if I go in the side view over here, it will make more sense. In this view, because we're in perspective, my point is off 3 kilometers in the distance. But if I'm down in the bottom view, you can see what I mean. As I move the mouse, it's scaling in every direction at once. It's scaling from that first point, because you could scale it smaller.
Okay.
All right? So that's how scale works. I'm going to escape.
Okay.
Do that again. I want to scale this thing.
Yes.
All right, so scale.
Yeah.
Where's my base point? Where do I want to scale it from? If I selected this point over here.
Yes.
And I now scaled it. Can you see that it's scaling from there?
Okay, I get it.
All right.
Yes.
So we want to scale this directly upwards to there. We want to scale it in every direction. So we're just going to use a scale.
Yes.
We're going to start. You can do it in any viewport, but over here it would be very difficult to snap to a mid. You with me? Because all the points are over each other. So you can grab the mid in this viewport.
Yes.
You can grab that mid over there, and you can move it straight up there, or you could have moved it straight up here, or you could have moved it straight up here. It doesn't matter, as long as you find a snap point.
Why we have to choose here? We know the base, and we just click
All
here.
right. So where do you want to scale from? You want this end. You want this to exactly touch there.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to do it without selecting that. All right. The best way to learn is, so I want to scale you from the base point, and I'm just going to select some random point here. How do I make it snap to that edge there exactly? I can't. But if I say what I want to scale, take this, and I scale it from this point to this reference point. So this is equal to 1. This is the 1.
Okay.
Now I'm scaling it to 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1. Blah 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 blah. Now I've got something to snap. These two things touch exactly now.
Okay.
All right. If I didn't have that reference point, I've got no way to make the two things snap.
Okay.
All right.
I don't understand why we have to give reference, because I thought I was going to.
Let's delete everything. This is like primary stuff. If we don't get through this, then we've got a problem. All right. So you got that thing.
Yes.
I want to scale this from here to exactly this grid point here. All right. I want to scale this thing from here. Let's turn the grid off for now. And now I want to scale what? I want to scale this whole object. Or do I want to scale from half of the object? What am I going to snap to?
Okay. Oh, you mean the length?
Well, this is 1. So scale works as factor. If I want to scale this to 1.5 times bigger, I want to make it 50% bigger. All right?
Okay.
Can you, in your head, let me get a length for this quickly. Let me explode this. Let me draw another curve.
Okay.
Hang on.
You need to give the measurement. How long do you?
Correct. So I'm going to grab that curve. Oopsie, this curve. And I'm going to type the word length. Handy little tool, by the way. Of course, I drew it exactly 6 millimeters. All right, so I have 4.839 millimeters big. All right. If I want to scale this thing to exactly 1.5 times bigger,
yes.
I have to go to a calculator. Okay, and I have to say what is 50 times, what's 50% bigger? So that's 1.839 multiplied by 1.5, which is 50% bigger. So I have to, my scale factor is 2.75.
Okay, I got it.
You with me?
Okay, yeah,
okay.
I got it.
So to try to do that in your head is nearly impossible. If I do the
Okay.
scale, saying that this is equal to 1,
yes.
then I can say scale it by 1.5. So I'm going to grab these. All right, so I'm going to go with this. I'm going to type scale.
Yes.
It's asking me the base point for 1
yes.
and the end point for 1 is this.
Yes.
What is your second reference point, or do you want a scale factor? All right.
Okay.
So let's do that again. My apologies, I forgot I got history on. I'm going to get through the history part of this. Let's delete you. All right, so this I want to scale.
Yes.
From here
yeah.
to there.
This is the length you want.
That's the length. That
okay.
to me is equal to 1. I want to scale by 1.5.
Okay.
Or I want to scale to exactly twice as big. I want to scale by 2.
Yes.
Or I want to scale by 3.
Yes.
Oh shit, that went wrong for me. My bad. Scale 1D. Let's do a scale 1D so it's more obvious. Scale 1D, this is my bottom, this is my top, or 1, depending how you want to think on it.
But if you can go a little bit up, but that's not 1. That's much higher.
I know. This was 1. I'm now saying how much above 1 I want to go.
Oh, okay.
2 over. All right.
Okay, I get it.
I'll do another video just on scale because it's quite important, all right? For now, so we can finish sweep, I'm just going to continue. So I'm going to draw another rectangle.
Understand.
No worries. We're going to draw another rectangle from here across here. All right. I'm going to grab those 2 points. I'm going to move them from this point upwards to that point there.
Yes.
And then I'm going to move these 2 points in to give myself more or less that width.
Yes.
So I'm just looking at the bottom, and then I'm going to move the whole thing over from its mid to that quad.
Yes.
All right, so now let's imagine that for this one,
morning. Richard.
So let's imagine for this one, we didn't want the top square. We wanted the top kind of half round. All right, so I'm going to go inside here and I'm going to draw an arc. So I want this, remember D shape we spoke about yesterday?
Yeah.
All right, so I want this top one kind of curved.
Okay.
I want to curve from about here to there to about there. All right?
Yes.
So I'm going to give myself some reference points over here. I'm going to just draw a line. It doesn't matter where I draw the line. All right. I'm going to draw a line through here using shift. That's where I want my D shape to come down to.
Yeah.
Remember O snaps from yesterday? You've got an intersection O snap. This is a little bit more advanced O snap.
Okay.
It's going to look for where 2 things intersect each other. You know, when you drive your car, you come up to an intersection.
Okay.
An intersection is 2 roads going over each other.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is an intersection.
This is the intersection.
Yeah, so where these 2 cross over each other, that's an intersection.
Okay.
All right? So we're going to go to the arc tool. Here's an arc tool.
Yes.
All right, we're going to pop it out. You've got an arc from a center point and an angle. That's not what we want. You've got an arc with a start and an end.
Yes.
And a point. So you've got 3 points.
Okay.
We have a point.
Yes.
We have a point. We have a point. So we want an arc with 3 points.
Yes.
Right? A start, an end, and a point.
Yes.
So follow the command line. Where's the start of the arc?
Yes.
We want to snap to the intersection.
Here.
Hey, why is my intersection not working? Oh, because it didn't turn on. Okay. All right. So we turn on intersection.
Yes.
And we look for the intersection. Whoop. So where the 2 curves cross each other, that's where I want to go. And where's the end of the arc? That intersection. And where's my 3rd point?
Here.
That intersection.
Okay.
So now I could draw a very exact curve.
Yes.
Okay, using the snaps. For now I'm going to turn off intersection. We no longer need our construction curve, the little curve we used we can get rid of.
Yes. Do we need to get rid of this?
We're going to.
Okay.
So we want to get rid of this.
Yes.
Top part here, down to here. So we're going to grab all the curves together. Remember, you can left select over everything.
Yes.
Or you could just right select.
Okay, yeah.
To grab them all.
Yeah.
The command to get rid of everything you don't want is called trim.
Trim.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we don't want this, and we don't want this.
Yes.
And we press enter.
Yeah.
Now we've got to join the components.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So we've got one rail. So there's a rail up there, a train up there, and there's a train down here.
Okay.
Okay, so now let's do a sweep 2.
Okay.
Select the sweep shape. This
Yeah.
one here.
Yeah.
And then the other one up here.
Yeah.
We press enter.
Yeah.
Now this is important. Okay. Rhino has directions of curves. You can make a curve, you can draw. Okay, so before we continue, when I draw this curve here, I'm going to draw a curve. See how I'm going clockwise?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to draw another curve and go anti-clockwise.
Yes.
Okay, so this curve I drew in this direction.
Yes.
And this curve I drew in this direction.
Yes.
Rhino knows that, and it's actually important in modeling. All right, so
Yeah.
how you find that, you can type dir for direction. Can you see that curve's going that direction?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right. You can do the same thing here, and this curve's going the other direction.
Yeah, yeah.
You can actually change the direction of a curve. You can say, hang on a minute. Now I'm going to show you something which a lot of people get caught by, so I'm going to delete that too. So I'm going to go direction on this curve.
Yes.
It's going around in that direction.
Yes.
Okay. And I go direction on this curve.
Yes.
Okay. Did you notice it's going in the wrong direction? So this
So
one's
you
going
mean here?
this one's going anti-clockwise, and this one's going clockwise.
Oh, okay.
Right. So if we did that sweep now, just because that's the way I happen to draw those curves.
Okay.
If I try the sweep now,
Yes.
from this one to this one, and we press enter. Oh, it happened to say, oh, it sorted out for me because I had refit. Oh, new to Rhino 7. It solves that problem for you.
Okay.
All right, so ignore that I said that. In the old Rhino, it would break that. It would make your shank.
Because this one go this direction.
And that
this
one, yeah. So it would actually flip over. It would look like the curve was twisted.
Okay, they kind of like a triangle around.
Correct.
Okay.
So if you go refit rails, apparently it fixes that for you. So now we've closed. Let's closed. Sweep 2 closed. Maintain slash cancel.
Close.
Close sweep. There we go. Thank you for that. All right. So now you've got a rail that started square.
Yeah.
And then it came up to a soft round shape up at the top.
Yeah. Before it's
before it was just
flat.
100% flat.
Okay, I get it.
So you can put 3 lots of rails, and you could put another one in here saying that in fact this has got a concave.
Okay.
All right. So this is
I
what
get
you
it.
will find the designers in the jewelry room using the most. So I'm going to take this curve. I'm going to rotate it around 0 with copy. Okay. I come inside here. So then I'm going to scale it a little bit smaller. How do I make this point touch this point?
How are we going to make?
Scale.
Okay.
Here's my reference point 1.
Yes.
There's my reference point 2.
Yes.
I'm scaling it back to that reference point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, get it.
So we've now got the scale over here, but at this point we want to do something new. We want to put a little bit of fanciness inside it. We want to make like a little half circle. All right. So I'm going to grab a circle over here.
Yes.
And then we're going to finish this lesson for today. All right.
Okay.
So same thing as we did before. We're going to grab these two. We're going to go trim.
Yes.
We don't want this. We don't want this. But we do want the rest.
Okay.
We're going to join.
Yes.
And then we're going to rotate this around with a copy.
Yeah.
From here to here.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we've got 4 rails.
Okay.
So sweep 2.
Yes.
From you to you to you to you. That one.
We did select rail.
Sweep 2.
Yeah.
Select the sweep shapes. Okay. From
1,
you to you to
2,
you
4.
to you.
Yeah.
Okay, so if your stuff was going in the wrong direction, so you
Yeah.
can see that this one for sure is going in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
That one is going clockwise. That
Yeah.
one is that. Actually, so let's have a look, see if Rhino fixes it for us. Can you see this time? It caught us. Can you see that you've got a twist happening? Your start point was wrong, so I'm going to do that again.
Okay.
Anyway, so just irrespective of whether Rhino is now trying to look after us, let me teach you how to do it the correct way. All right, so let's do this the long way this time. Sweep 2.
Yes.
Select the first rail, which is this one.
Yeah.
Select to select the first rail is this one. Second rail is this one.
Yes.
Now select the sweep shapes. This one,
Yeah.
then this one. Always do this in order, right? Because Rhino will try to do it not in the right order if you don't. So don't select here, then select here, then select there, then select there.
Yeah.
Now let's press enter. That's giving you an opportunity to fix your directions.
Yes.
A good rule of thumb is you grab that little thing and you bring it to the middle. right? Middle, inside. Can you see that it's now on the inside rail? You do the same here, middle, inside. You take this one, middle, inside, and you grab this one, middle, inside against the rail. So now if all your arrows are facing in the same direction and they're all on the inside curve, for sure nothing can get mixed up.
Oh, so make sure they put it inside and in.
Correct. So
and
it doesn't matter. You could have brought it outside if you like.
Okay, yeah.
But just pick one method and stick. So you practice in your mind's eye. Always try to align your rails.
Okay,
right?
I get it.
So if I now press enter, we haven't got that weirdness that we had before.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So now we've got this nice thing that flows from nothing. Let's press OK so we can see what we're doing. So the bottom rail didn't have a concave. So over here on the ring, all right, so let's go rendered. So here on the ring, it's dead flat.
Okay.
Then it starts gradually putting a little curvature in it until it exactly fits that rail.
Yes.
And then it starts gradually removing the curvature until it touches this rail.
Oh.
Okay?
That's magic. Okay.
It is magic, isn't it? All right.
Yes.
So that's sweep 2. I think you're going to find that sweep 2 is the most powerful tool you have.
Okay.
We're going to go back to how you marry the two, and then this lesson is over for the day.
Okay.
All right. So
Thank
now
you
we
very
want to
much.
put a bezel inside here. So I'm going to grab again just a rectangle. I'm going to go rectangle. It doesn't matter. Okay. I'm going to go from center, and I'm going to go rounded, and I'm just going to draw it out here somewhere. So this is my bezel wall for my stone.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to grab that wall. I'm going to put it down here. I'm going to turn it sideways a little bit like that, maybe like that. Okay. This time I'm going to use the revolve command because it's it's for a round stone. Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to start my revolve axis is 0.
Yes.
So here's Hui standing in the middle, and she's going to swing that thing around her head.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And so now you made a ring
bezel
with a bezel for the stone.
Yeah. I'll get it.
So learning everything you learned today, very basic curves, you just made a dome-shaped ring.
Okay. Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Your brain is hurting,
Yeah.
so we stop for the day.
Yeah.
Thanks, Hui.
Much better. Thank you.
No problem.
I will